Welcome, Grand Slammers. Thanks for tuning in back to the show. We got episode 4 here today. We got a lot of great content for you. Let's jump right into it. Hey, Chris, how you doing today, bud?
Man, I'm pretty good. How about you?
Doing well. It's not bad for a Friday. I know we were supposed to record at 2:30, but we're kind of experimenting with times. We may keep it at 2:30. We might start doing a little bit later at 8. Y'all let us know what you think.
Hey, still Friday.
Still Fridays. We just experimenting with the time. You have a good day today? Did you work?
Yeah, unfortunately I did. How about you?
No, I was off. I had to go and take my daughter to get her 6 month shots. So I was up early. Well, I'm up early every day, but I was up early today, bringing her into the doctor to get those. She's doing pretty good right now. She's had 2 or 3 rounds, so not terrible. She's a little fussy when she's getting them, but it's definitely better than the first time she got them.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. Hopefully everything goes well with her.
Yeah, I'm sure. She might run a little fever tomorrow, but all in all, is good. Should be good.
That's
All
good.
right, well, we got a lot of good content for you today. What we got on the agenda, Chris?
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about some trade predictions. We're gonna be talking about um the All-Star break, Homerun Derby. We're gonna be talking about our three more surprising team. We're gonna be talking about our top three we're gonna be talking about our top three disappointing team so
Yeah,
far
most
through the
disappointing.
year.
Yeah,
Um, we're also gonna be covering some topics around the league. Some comments by Rob Manfred. We're gonna be talking about
he's the best commissioner there ever was.
he's the best.
Manfred for life. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
um, we're also gonna be talking about uh, London and what they're doing over there internationally, and that should be it. We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but we're getting to that point where you hit that trade deadline. Stuff starting to, the stuff starting to heat up. Kitchen stoves starting to heat up. People are going to start making moves, trying to solidify their spots to make
Yeah,
a long postseason run.
yeah. I think at this point of the season, the teams are they start getting it more seriously because
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
pretty they're pretty much halfway through there, so
Yeah,
they try to
yeah,
make every push they can to get there.
yeah. And you want to be within 5 games at least. I mean, 10 games is probably okay, but you want to be within five if you can be by All Star break. But you're right. We're getting to a point in the season where every game counts. Every
Yep.
every game matters. But so before we jump into that, just a little quick hit on you. Uh, Obviously, Tampa still leads the AL East, 52 wins. Minnesota's Minnesota's the winner right now in the Central with only 38 wins. Boy, you talk about a raggedy division. You're the number one guy, and you got a 500 win percentage. You're 38 and 38.
That's crazy, isn't
That is garbage.
it?
You know what? I'm
so
saying we don't even let their division winner in. We
so it makes you
just
wonder if how many teams out of that division are going to be selling their team out by the trade deadline.
yeah. I mean, all of them should. They should all be sellers. Instead of using the AL Central Division winner, we should scratch that and use it as a wild card spot. So we'll have two division winners, three wild card spots in the AL.
I
Sounds good.
agree. Yeah.
All right, then you got the West, baby. You know, Houston's not the big bad boys anymore. We got Texas over there,
Yep.
46 wins. Houston's 5.5 back. So moving on to the East, you got the same hat on, baby. 48 wins, smoking red hot. Whew. Hard to beat. Hard to beat, I tell you. The
They're
Central, we got,
crazy, man.
huh?
I say they're crazy. You got some pretty interesting stats you want to share?
Oh yeah, uh, first inning runs. Um, 50% of games they scored in the first inning. 50%. So like 30 something games out of 70, like 30, 35, 36 out of 70. They've put up one or more runs in the first inning. That's crazy. Ronald Acuna Jr. is hitting in the first inning this season. He's hitting a whopping average of 600. He's got a
Ooh,
600 batting average in the first inning.
ooh,
That one
that,
through four, 1 through 5 is just lethal, man.
that's crazy. But you know the thing too about it is when they don't do it, the bottom lineup does it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do. They do. This is,
So,
Atlanta's a solid team, man. We'll see
they
what they
are.
do pitching wise.
I think
Offensively.
I think they don't have any. They do kind of got some holes, but they're not. I don't think they're very critical. You know, they
No,
can still play. They can still play pretty, pretty damn good without covering that hole that they got.
I mean, their holes is the pitching. I don't think they have a single hole from 1 to 9. I
No,
mean,
no, not at all.
Rosario's
Well,
not going to cover off the ball.
at the
Arcia's
be-
showed up.
at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of question raised about Arcia
Yes.
and Von Grisham, and
Yeah.
hey, Arcia is proving everybody wrong.
Yeah, dude's hitting
But
like 350.
yeah, yeah,
He's smoking it. I mean, he about hit one out versus Philly last night. It went 6 inches foul, 6 inches on the left of the foul pole in left field. I mean, he's crushing it. He had an RBI double in the first, or yeah, he had an RBI double in the first today, top of the first versus Cincinnati. Speaking of which, they scored 5 in the top of the first today.
that's
Uh,
the Braid that is right.
Atlanta, yep. Ronald singled. They had 5 hits altogether in the first, scored 5 runs. Ronald singled. Austin Riley drove him in. A couple more singles. Darno hit a 3 run, or no, I'm sorry, another single or two. Arcia drove in somebody, and then Darno right thereafter hit the 3 run shot. It put up 5, top of the first.
See, when it's not their when it's not their bottom of their top of the lineup is the bottom of the lineup.
I'm telling you, man. Um, anyways, moving on. They're red hot. Uh, they're either first or second best team in baseball. They got some question marks around the pitching, but they'll sure that up. They'll make some moves. Uh, they'll make some moves at the trade deadline, and
I think they will. They finally got a player, one of the prospect in the top 100 per MLB, so that's good.
who is it? Schuster.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's already played. Uh, Live update for you: Joey Votto might be his first game back. He just hit a 3 run shot. They now lead the Braves at 9-7 in the fifth. That's going to be a
Well,
high scoring game.
that was his second home run because he hit one on his debut,
Uh,
2023 debut.
was
But
Votto, man.
yeah,
Um, Speaking of the Reds, you know they're leading the Central, 40 wins. Uh, Milwaukee's 3 games back. They're good. They're hot. Pretty exciting stuff. The West, Arizona with 46 wins. That's kind of hard to believe. I mean, I knew they were building a team over there, but
no more
they
Dodgers.
really, huh?
No more
Yeah.
Dodgers.
All right. So if the season ended today, we went in the playoffs. Obviously, you'd have Tampa, Texas, Minnesota in as your division winners. You'd have Baltimore and Houston in wild card. New York just misses the cut. On the NL side, Atlanta, Arizona, Cincinnati. Your division winners, they're in the playoffs. With Atlanta, first round bye. Sorry, um, and Tampa's first round bye on the AL side because they got the 2 wild cards now. So the number 1 seed gets the first week off. They go straight to the DS. So Tampa would have that. Atlanta would have that in the NL. Arizona, Cincinnati, and then you have Miami and San Francisco in. Well, LA gets the cut. They don't make it right. If the season were to end right now, they miss the playoffs. So that's kind of the outlook on the division leaders and kind of I know it's way too early, but it's a playoff look. So that's what we're
Yeah.
looking at. If the season end today, that's how the cards would fall.
You never know. It might not be that far off. You never know.
Now, a lot of baseball still to be played, but these teams haven't like Tampa and Baltimore they have not fallen off. Texas hasn't fallen off. Cincinnati's heating up. You think about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was winning that early in the season, the Central, and then they fell off. Arizona has not fallen off. So, they very well might push it on in and round it up,
Another team that's playing really good too is the San Francisco Giants. So we don't know if they're gonna fall off too, or
Yeah,
they're gonna keep performing the way they are.
they're 3.5 games off Arizona, but yeah, I mean the Dodgers are third in that division, so they got a lot of shaping up to do if they're gonna make the playoffs and they're gonna make a run. So I was just looking at run differential, man. Texas is 153, Tampa's plus 145, Atlanta's plus 106. And then guess what your next closest is after that?
Shoot. Let me guess. 85?
So 145 with Tampa, 153 Texas, and 106 with Atlanta. So that's kind of like your three powerhouses right now, right?
Right.
Your next closest with a whopping 46 is the LA Dodgers. So those three are like way ahead of everybody. I mean, they're just, they're standing out big time.
That's crazy.
So, anyways, just little stats for you how the divisions are standing and how the playoffs are standing if we were to start today.
Hey, yeah, I want to go. So you remember last week when I asked you, just so we can be clear, because I'm pretty sure some people already looked it up. But so last week when I asked you about what team had the most World Series wins,
World Series wins?
Yeah, more title win, or World Series, more rings. And
yeah, it's Yankees, right?
Right, and I said right behind it was the A's.
Oakland A's, yeah, I remember that.
So it turned out they're not, but they're not that far off.
So who's number two then?
So number two, I believe, is the Cardinals.
I believe that. Yeah.
And then number three, no. Number two is number two is the
St.
Cardinals,
Louis.
but the Boston Red Sox and the A's are tied for third.
Okay, got you. With how many did it say?
I believe the Cardinal has 13, and they're both the Boston and the A's are tied with 11.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's a fun fact for you. I have a fun fact for you now that you're talking about Boston. Did you know Do you know where the original franchise out of Boston would have been? The Boston Red Stockings, or the Boston Bean Eaters, whatever you want to call them. Do you know where they're at now?
No, where?
Atlanta Braves. That franchise was started in 18 something. Started in Boston. Went through a bunch of names in Boston, like the Red Stockings, the Bean Eaters, something else. Then they went to the Boston Braves. They went back to the Boston Bean Eaters. Then they went to the Milwaukee Braves, and then they landed in Atlanta in the 50s, and they've been there ever since. But Atlanta is also the longest running franchise right now in baseball.
For some reason, I didn't pay attention. So the hat that I'm wearing right here,
is that the Milwaukee?
It does says Boston. I was like, why does it say Boston there? This is like 1818 or something like that. I was like, what?
The more you
Let's
know.
see.
They've also got
19.
a World Series in 1914. It was a miracle season.
Yeah,
They
that's what
started
it
out
says.
like, yes,
Nine.
1914
Yep.
miracle season. Yep. They have a
The
World Series there. They started out like 8-30 or something. They went on a stupid streak and ended up sweeping. They swept up the New York Giants in the World Series.
Sheesh. I-
Swept them up in the in the dustpan.
Can you imagine what was baseball back in the days?
Yeah. um. All right. Well, that's enough trivia. What what we got going? What's the first thing you want to talk about, bud?
Let's talk about Raul Manfred, just to get hype up a little bit.
Oh, hands down, best commissioner in baseball they ever had. No, he's garbage. He needs to quit. He should have been fired a long time ago. Uh, what piques the interest now is obviously on my end with some comments that he made, um, having to do with the Astros. Open quote: "Granting players immunity was not my best decision." Close quote. I would have to agree with that. That was a terrible decision. It was absolute. It was. I mean, what are you thinking? These dudes were cheating. Uh, and we've gone over cheating before, but I mean they were found to be cheating with intent to deprive and win. You know what I'm saying? Like on
Yep.
purpose. But they had things set out to purposely cheat and steal signs. And you did an investigation, and you found them guilty, like 100%. There was no 98% guilty, 2% not. It was 100%. They cheated, guilty, got him. And he did nothing. He did exactly what he's talking about. He granted immunity. I mean, they had nothing. The Astros got fined $5 million, and I think the coaches got suspended. The players, I mean, they just showed up and went to the World Series the next year like nothing ever happened. No one took a trophy.
Yeah.
No one did anything.
That's going back to Raul Manfred. That's one of the things that the he said he did, or he said. I'm sorry. So
Good.
he said those comments, right? But the intent that he said those comments were to basically granting granting players immunity kind of allow him to open up an investigation so the players can come forward with investigation. That's why you
Ah,
had a lot of players that were open about it, like Carlos Correa and some of the other players. That's one
I
of the
got you.
reasons that he granted immunity for them, because they knew if they said something, they knew nothing was going to happen to them anyways. So that's one of the reasons that, or really the main reason that he did that, which I think they would have found out even if they didn't grant players immunity. Now he said he regrets it, but he also said he regrets calling the World Series trophy you know,
A hunk of
piece of
metal.
metal. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's kind of. He was probably just overwhelmed at the time. He was probably taking heat from all kind of sides, and
yeah,
I could see him just being like, "Oh, it's just a hunk of metal. Who gives a shit?"
but listen, it's you're you're saying these things online, man. Whatever you do, whatever you say online, they always stay there. So you gotta kind of be careful how you choose your words, especially him being a commissioner. I'm pretty sure if it was like some random manager for whatever team,
Right.
yeah, he would have caught some heat about it, but he it wouldn't be as
It's
as
bad. Yeah, I
serious,
know what you
yeah,
mean.
as
Yeah.
bad as it is coming from a
Yeah.
commissioner, a
He.
guy that's basically representing the whole league. You
Yeah, it's
know,
the leader. He also said there were some decisions I'd like to have back talking about that whole situation, but it makes sense. a comparison to that is like a um, with law enforcement, right? Cops are granted what they call Garrity rights. So if they ever go over like under an IA investigation, internal investigation, the first thing they do is read a cop their Garrity rights, and that Garrity rights is basically uh, what it was saying that it is a similar reasoning to why he granted him immunity. It basically says that whatever they divulge in an administrative interview or internal investigation cannot be used to prosecute them. So that's like a similar it's like a similar situation as Garrity rights, basically
Right.
saying we'll give you immunity, we won't punish you, but you got to come forward and be honest with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense, but still, I mean
At,
he
at
should
the
have
end of
took
the
it
day,
from the team. Like he maybe not punished the players, but he should have. There should be an asterisk by that World Series win.
right, and not being as legit. Because I tell you what, I don't even think they're counting Barry Bonds' home run as being legit.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. There's a prime example. You don't put Barry Bond. You snub him from the Hall of Fame because he cheated.
Right, he never technically
Cheated.
he never said that he was on steroid, but
Did he ever get caught? Did they ever
I
catch
don't.
him and suspend him?
Not that I know of.
Well, then you can't snub him because of
Right,
steroids.
right.
It don't make no sense. But the Astros, who you 100% called, and everyone knows about it, you don't do anything to them. Just a dumb decision.
Yeah, it is all the way around. I
Yeah,
think,
I mean he handled that terribly, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like him.
and that's kind of one of the things that's gonna stay. So he's not gonna get away from that at all. That's always gonna come back and haunt him.
Yep, it will be the spotlight of his career. How he
Yep.
let the Astros get away with cheating in 17, called them, and didn't do anything about it.
Well, there's probably more than that, but well, I mean that, and you kind of got to add on some other things like you know the way he went about it with the Oakland A's and the whole stadium,
Yeah.
and along with that,
What's
I
that?
don't know. He's just
Yeah, he
he's
makes
a very
bad decisions.
yeah
He's not a good talker. Nobody likes him. Just say it at face value. You know what I'm saying?
yeah yeah
That's all it is. Nobody.
yeah.
So all right. Well, that wraps up Manfred talk. No, I think we all agree nobody likes him. Do you like him?
No, no.
Okay. I don't like him either.
They need to replace him.
Yeah, should have been done. I don't know, 6 years ago.
I wonder if they kind of they got a contract because I know every MLB owner has to, or the majority has to approve on whether to fire him or not. So I'm kind of wonder how.
Well, the first team that's going to oppose that, right?
Ooh,
The Houston Astros.
yeah,
Uh, Oakland A's will be the first one to get him going.
yes. I think, and the New York Mets probably too.
And who? The Mets.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up Manfred. I think the next thing on the list maybe was maybe some trade deadline stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about first. Let's talk about London. So the league has hosted games outside of the U.S., right? So we were talking about, I want to say it was the first episode. We were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about the World Baseball Classic and how traction it gained during this
yeah.
year.
Gained a lot of traction, international
Yeah,
traction. Purpose, like you said, is to spread the game.
yeah.
That's what we want
So
to do.
so I know they started playing outside of the U.S. in London, in 2019, and that was Boston against the Yankees. So they brought it back, and this year, I don't know if you remember, but the San Francisco Giant and the Padres play in Mexico.
Yeah, they hit about 76 home runs.
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
Yeah.
So along with that, this year the Cardinals and the Cubs are going to be playing in London.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
they're going back to London, and that is this
Come
year,
on.
2024 is going to be the Mets and the Phillies playing in
Yeah.
London, and I think they bringing it back in 2026 to London. So 2025 is kind of to be determined,
Hmm.
but from what I read, I think they're gonna try to spend somewhere else outside of London, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
So some of the places that I heard was Germany.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So yeah,
The
that definitely cool.
the the NFL just is spreading their footprint in Germany right now too. Atlanta Falcons signed a this is all subject, with football. Anyways, they signed like an exclusive rights deal for Germany, and they had a game there last year. And anyways, that's all. What I'm getting at is all the sports, American sports, are doing that right now.
Yeah.
Go on.
So it's crazy that this is America pastime and is now reaching. The games have been played for over 100 years,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that it's now because I'm sure it has had international waters, and I'm not talking about uh like Latin American countries, like the DR, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, not those countries, but Europe. Um, so it seems like it's getting a lot of more traction over there. Like we talked about India. Obviously,
Mhm.
Japan plays it, China plays it, Korea plays it,
Yeah.
but some of the other places like I just said, India, uh,
Yeah.
South Africa, Spain.
Anywhere that's anywhere where it's not big. I mean, you can
Right.
even throw Britain in there, Czech Republic,
Yep.
Australia.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places they could go. I mean, the point is to spread the game across the globe and globalize it and have it available to everybody.
Which they are, and it's a good thing. Now, this is my question, right? One of those what if.
All right, hit me.
So, will you prefer them to take out 20 games out of the season and play it overseas, or add more games to the regular season to play it overseas?
Mm, add more games. I don't want them to take any games. In fact, here's what you do. All right, you want to spread the game. If you really want to spread the game, this is what you do. Bring spring training or something over there, right? Uh, but here's the most important part of that. Even if it's not, and I say spring training because those games don't count, you need to juice the baseball. I'm just because to make it exciting, juice the baseball, go over to Germany and send two hot teams, like two of your best hitting teams, like Texas and Tampa, or Texas and Atlanta, or Atlanta and Cincinnati. Right, someone who's really stroking the ball, hitting a lot of hard, hitting it hard. Juice the baseball, go over there to Germany, let them have some fucking 10 home run games or something to get them really amped up. But if you do that, it can't count toward the season. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Uh,
only one issue with that.
what's up? I'm just saying, if you want to spread the game, the home run's sexy. I mean, it is what it is. What people like. It's like that commercial with Maddox and Glavin. Chicks dig the long ball, right? I mean, they do.
Yeah,
It's what people
yeah,
like to see.
yeah.
So, anyways, what was the one
But
problem with it?
no, so the one issue that you got with that is spring training is the weather. You got to account for the weather. So these
Yeah.
places like Europe and all those places is hot. Now I
Is it
can
hot or
understand.
it's cold, right?
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it'd be cold.
for
Yeah,
some reason I was thinking Australia,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. It's hot as hell in
it.
Australia.
But yeah, it's
No
cold.
problem there.
You got the cold season as still, you know, playing into
Yeah,
factor, which is why they play in Florida and Arizona.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, for real, yeah.
but yeah, so my question, the reason that I asked that question is because if you take 20 games, all right, that's 20 games. I'm just throwing a random number, by the way. So even if it's 10 games, but you're taking those games out of the possibility that they're gonna be played in either home team. So I'm gonna give you an example. So if you're or if I am a se- uh, season ticket holder, right?
Hmm.
And I'm paying for 80 games. Well, those 80 games are just gonna get cut back to maybe 2, 3 games or whatever it is,
Hmm.
or a little bit less. So you know, you got what now? Now you lose those games that are home. Now the question is, are they gonna give you a discount for those games that you miss, or that you're gonna lose, or are they gonna rate the ticket? Because if you think about it, they're also not gonna make the sales if they would in their home team. You gotta kind
Yeah.
of you gotta kind of think about
Oh,
that because I know when if they go play, let's say in I don't know, well they're gonna go play in Germany, right? Not Germany,
yeah.
Great Britain, um,
Hmm.
or London. So
Yeah. Anywhere, basically
whatever,
anywhere.
right? Whatever stadium they play in, I'm sure the profit gonna have to be shared either 3 ways. Each team get whatever profit they get, and the stadium gets, or the city, or the state, or the country, whatever, gets a
Oh, yeah.
portion
I
of the
mean,
money too.
I'm fairly certain that like these years, these one-off games and shit. The MLB's footing those bills.
Right. So
I
that's
mean,
kind of
it's
the
not costing them anything. But no, no, I mean, as a simple fix, on your home team here, because I got season tickets with the Ghost Pirates. So the way they work is you can buy half season, quarter season, full season, but there's a price per ticket, and how whatever package you buy, you times that by the price. So if you're going to play 20 less games, you just charge them 20 less tickets. And then what you do is you sell those 20 tickets in Germany as a season ticket pass or whatever. I don't think the money would be an issue at all.
that could be a pretty good solution. But
Yeah.
that's kind of just my thought about it. Either which I found it kind of cool and interesting that they want to play in other countries. But my question will be: is will you add more games or will you take more games from the regular season so they can go out there and play it outside of the outside of the states?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, right now, they're not going to do any of it. They're just going to
Right. They
they're
just
going
gonna.
to have a series over there.
Yep. Yep.
What they really should do, if they want to incorporate these other places in the game, the problem is logistics. But what you do is you put some of these farm teams over there.
That's a
Take a
good
single A
solution.
team, put them in Germany,
Yeah.
and then Germany has a baseball team now. The problem with that is logistics. You call the guy up, now you got to fly him from Germany.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't fly him from 300 miles away. You got to fly him on an international overnight flight.
I mean, they do that with players in the DR anyway. So
That would be my bet. If you want to spread the game, take some minor league teams or something, put them over in different countries. I mean,
yeah.
and then hold a series or something over there. But my thing about it is, who are they sending this or next? Who are they sending this year? The Cardinals and the Cubs.
This that's this year.
Who wants to
Next
watch
year.
those scrubs? I mean, you're gonna go over to Germany where you're trying to spread the game, and you're gonna send the fucking Cardinals and the Cubs.
So next
You got to be
year,
kidding me.
next year will be the Mets and the Phillies.
or maybe they'll be better.
Yeah,
And we see the Mets this year; they bankroll $1 billion and can't win a game.
isn't that interesting? There's a lot of teams that performing the same way.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I mean, oh, I've said it almost on every podcast episode. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse, but money don't buy wins. Doesn't matter. I mean, you can spend all the money in the world. I don't mean you're going to win.
Nope, not at all.
So, hey, I think it's cool they're doing it overseas. Anything to spread the game. At the end of the day, it's a money thing. I mean, they want to make more money. It's the MLB. It's the most.
Yeah,
Well, damn, the Reds done went up 11-7. LA done tripled. So Atlanta's getting hell beat out of them right now. They were on a 7-game streak, but I mean, the Reds are hot, dude. And, I mean, LA really turned that team around. So I got bought it, but I'm excited about that. I mean, when's the last time the Reds have been in contention? Or even we're talking about?
it's been a minute.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. I got a little cough. The big red machine, baby, is
Oh yeah.
back.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so
Man,
yeah,
I'm tired.
excited to see them doing good. Excited to see baseball in London. What else we got on the agenda, good sir?
Yeah. So we also want to talk about um since you're hitting the whole Reds and how good they are, you want to talk about what's your top three most surprising teams?
Oh yeah, whole surprise teams. I sure can. Well, obviously, first on the list is the Reds. 40-35, first leading the Central, playing good. They got a good farm system. Right behind Baltimore. I think they have the most. Baltimore has the top 100, the most top one in the top 100. The Reds have the second most in the top 100. Happy to see it, man. I had the pleasure of going to the Great American Ballpark. It's a cool ballpark. The passion is there with Cincinnati. They just haven't been good. I mean, and the Bengals are good right now after getting Joe Burrow. The Reds are good. It's good to see it. Good to see them changing up. But they did surprise me. I didn't think they were going to be this good this fast. I knew they were working on it, but I didn't think it was going to be now. Second is Texas. You can kind of tell that they were building something last year, but it's all in place now. I will eat my words. If you go back to the first episode, I may or may not have talked a little bit of shit about Corey Seager. Okay, I was wrong about that. Dude is on fire.
Quietly.
I'm eating my words on that. Dude is, he passes the eye test. If you go back and say he didn't pass the eye test, he passes the eye test. Okay, get off my back. I'm just kidding. And then my third is obviously the Diamondbacks, which you knew they were building something a little bit, but man, I mean, they're running the West. I mean, anytime you're in a division with the Dodgers, you always got to work really hard, and they're smoking them down. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
the Dodgers
They're
like
putting
5 games.
they're putting up a pretty good fight.
So, anyways, that's my top three. Who you got as your top three?
So my top three, it's one of the teams that you just mentioned, which is the Reds. Um, they have been playing pretty well, and like you just said they just call up Ellie De La Cruz. I think ever since he got called up, they have been on fire. Um, and a lot of their so a lot of the what's carrying them, it's their hitting is what really is carrying the team. So they're definitely in need for pitching. They lost they they lost Hunter Green not too long ago. They also lost
Hmm.
Nick Dololo, which are one of their 1-2 punch
Yeah,
pitchers.
Delolo's good.
Yeah, so they're kind of struggling in that department. So if as of right now they're sitting 15 games above 500, they and that's as of June 21st. So yesterday they're sitting 15 games over 500 in first place. So they're they rank top 15 in every single category except home runs. So they're definitely hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, pitching is where they're struggling because right now they rank 27th in ERA as a team. Um, the only thing that
Yeah.
is kind of keeping them like on a you know basically hanging
Oh
on with
yeah.
the pitching,
Yeah.
it's the reliever. So their bullpen has to pitch pretty well. They're ranked third on saves with 26. But anything after that, as far as pitching wise, man, they rank
Pretty low.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
like you said, they lost their 1-2 punch.
right.
Um, but
So
you got to take into account too. They have those lower bullpen stats, but um, I'm not biased toward divisions, but both the Centrals on NL and AL are just total garbage. Is what it is.
yeah, well, and
And
that's
but they're
and
playing in the Central, so
right,
then you
and
can
well,
have a little less pitching.
they got something good going on too. So they might be the team to be for the next few years. When you never know.
Yeah.
Um, so my other team that I'm really surprised with is the San Francisco Giants. They were,
Okay.
I mean, look where they're sitting. They're doing a lot better than the Dodgers are right now. So, and they just got done with a 10-game hitting streak. They just got snapped,
Yeah.
but their hitting has also been doing pretty decent lately, and their pitching hasn't been doing too bad. They do rank eighth in team ERA,
Okay.
seventh on uh, wins, and they rank first in saves or
Okay.
tied for first. So their their pitching is basically carrying the team along with some okay hitting. So they're pretty good. I'm surprised that with them because nobody nobody expected them to do so good
Mm-hmm.
because they were supposed to sign Aaron Judge. That deal fell through, or
And
it never
Correa.
went anywhere. Yep. Same with Korea, and it never went anywhere. So they're playing well. They're playing really good without those two
Yeah.
guys. So that's kind of one of the team that surprised me. Because if you look at the offseason, they didn't do a whole lot of noise. So
Yeah. Sometimes you
it's
don't have to.
right. Um,
Money don't buy wins.
nope. But other team that I'm surprised with is the Marlins and how well they're
Yeah.
playing.
They are playing good.
So,
Just got them
uh,
smoking hot Braves in front of them.
oh yeah. So with the Marlins, the I'll probably say the one thing that's carrying them a lot more is the pitching
Mm-hmm.
than the hitting. So hitting wise, they're not. I mean, they're putting the ball in play where they need to because obviously they're winning games and their bullpen are doing what they need to be doing.
Well, You can go ahead and count about 20 wins to a Reyes.
Yeah, that alone. Same thing
I
with
mean,
the rookie Yuri Perez. So he's doing
yeah,
pretty, or Sandy 2.0, let's just
yeah,
say. Now, and that's kind of the one thing, I think if Sandy Alcantara was pitching a lot like the 2022 Sandy Alcantara,
hmm
they will probably be they will probably be right there with the Braves, to be honest with you.
yeah, probably. We'll see if Sandy ever comes back. I mean, I have this wild theory about pitchers is that they have one really good peak year and then they never get back. And I think
Yeah,
Sandy's was last year. I don't think he'll ever be back to 2022 form. Um, Look at Ian Anderson in 21. I mean, dude was basically unhittable in a way, and now he can't even come into the pros. I mean, he stays in AAA. They bring him up, he gets smashed around. It's just one of those things, man. I don't know. People come
uh,
up, they're really good for a year, and then it just doesn't happen ever again.
I still believe in him though.
We'll see. I mean, he's not terrible. I just don't think. I mean, it was what he did last year was stupid. So, but yeah, the Marlins is a good pick. They are playing well,
Yes,
But
yes,
if you look at their system too, I mean, they had some young guys that they were just missing one or two things. That's the crazy thing about baseball, man. It's just one or two players, maybe three, and
yep.
you can put it together into a cohesive unit. You got something.
And even
You know,
one can make a difference.
these teams, some of these teams that you think are bad, I mean, they're just like a player off, like one or two player. I mean, they're not bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're just missing that one or two little pieces. And if they ever get that, watch out. So, um, all right. So now let's go into my three most disappointing teams. The first one is no explanation needed. It's the New York Mets, 34-30, fourth in the East. I shouldn't even have to talk about it. So we're on to the next. That's how disappointing they are. St. Louis Cardinals coming in 31-44, last in the Central. I mean, what in the world? I don't even know where to start. You
That was
you lose Yachty
that was
and
very
you
unexpected.
just collapse. I mean, what's going on over there in St. Louis?
Yep.
For Jesus, I mean, you can always count on St. Louis one or two in the Central, as long as I ever remembered. And always
Yes.
one of those teams that you're always scared of, even if they're not playing that well. You didn't want to run in. I always view that team as, like you said, they got the second most uh, World Series. I mean, you just don't want to run into St. Louis, man. That shit's in baseball's ingrained in St. Louis. They take a lot of pride in the game, and they always assemble good teams. So to come out with what the product they're fielding now is just, I mean, not good. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I said they lost Yachty, so they may be just searching for a new identity or a new leader. They could be that. They could be. I could see St. Louis being that one or two pieces off that I was just talking about a minute ago. You know, they just need one or two little pieces, and then watch out. Here comes some win streaks, and they're right back in it. I could see that being St. Louis for sure. Um, my third, um, which I didn't expect them to be good, but they're still ultra disappointing. Like that they shouldn't even. I think they should kick them out. They should maybe go play in AAA, and that is the Oakland A's, 19-58. I mean, that is just god awful. I understand you got a lot of drama in Oakland, thinking about going to Vegas. Jesus, field a competitive team. It's still competitive baseball. People, people still want to see uh, a high level of baseball being played. Whether the drama, whatever the drama may be that you got going on, no one gives a shit. You need to field it. You need to take pride, and you need to field a good team, or attempt to field a good team. Do not attempt to field the worst team in history because you want to move. It's ridiculous. Um, I mean, you got teams out there now getting free wins off the A's. You know what I mean? It's unexplainable. I just don't understand how you can even be. Uh, what's more upsetting is the players. Like, how are they not taking pride? I mean, you think about a professional athlete in any sport. I mean, you were talking about top of the level, top tier, top tier competitor. I mean, we're talking about fierce competitors here. We're not talking about um, just a guy that shows up to work. I mean, these guys are like, that's how they got to the pros, is wanting their entire life to be better than anybody else to step on the field. I mean, they are the fiercest of the fiercest competitors in any pro level sport. Football, baseball, basketball, it does not matter. They've all got that same mindset. So how can you play for the A's right now and even like go to sleep at night? That's my question. I mean, from top to bottom, it's just ridiculous. They really ought to send them to AAA. It's
I
crazy.
am I am not surprised by the A's, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't expect them to
Honest.
be good, but I didn't expect them to be on pace for the worst team ever. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on. I didn't think they would contend for the AL West.
I
I mean,
mean,
19 wins. We're 70 games in. You even won 20 games.
one day it had to happen.
75 games in. You ain't even won 20 yet. I mean, Tony Kemp, come on, man. Like, that dude's a competitor, right? How is he even? I mean,
He's still
I would
playing hard.
request a trade, or I would do something.
Yep.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It, don't don't take it wrong. I was not expecting the A's to be good. You asked what the most disappointing team was, and they are top of the list. It is just so disappointing that they can't even field a major league product. That's my
Which
take on it.
which that's why they should sell the team.
Yeah, I mean, it'll change once they go to Vegas. Um,
Yeah,
and
I'm
honestly, they
pretty
could have
sure they
stayed in
probably will.
Oakland. All they need was a new stadium. I mean, a new stadium would have breathed new life into that team, no matter where it's at.
Yeah.
But
So
they're the
so I
most
kind
disappointing.
of I agree with your teams. The only one that I'm not too shocked is by the A's. But with the Cardinals, they do they do have a huge hole that they gotta fix. Hitting wise, they're still there hitting wise. Well, not quite, but they have the players that can perform. Along
Yeah,
with that, they got the rookies that has been playing pretty well. Jordan Walker just got called up again. He's doing pretty well. Nolan Gorman is doing pretty well. Then you got, is it Wilson Contreras playing for them as well too?
yeah, yeah. From the Cubs,
So yeah,
Williams in Milwaukee.
yeah. So he's also playing pretty. He's a pretty good player too. So you got those guys, but the one thing I say that they're missing is their pitching.
Yeah,
I think that's their big hole. And like you said, they might need the one or two pitchers that can probably gonna make a big difference in the team if they want to compete this year.
it's always just a little bit off, man. I mean, pitching is big, especially
Yeah,
back end.
yeah,
Starting's important, but especially if you're talking about postseason runs. If you look at it, most of the time, the people with the best bullpen win the World Series on postseason runs.
yeah.
So, but
So
yeah,
yeah, so I agree with them and the Mets. That, like you said, there's no explanation. They're
you don't even have
just
to talk about them. Just hit the skip button. You spend the most money in baseball, and you're one of the worst. Keep going. Don't even have to talk about it.
so. My third team is the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in them too.
So and with them, I really don't see a whole lot of holes with them because they have maybe their bullpen.
Hmm.
Um, But other than that, I really don't see a whole lot of holes. Is other than just their guys just not meeting their expectations. J Rod is not playing like last year. J Rod, Eugenio Suarez not playing like he did last year.
Hmm.
Teoscar Hernandez has been playing pretty well,
Yeah,
but you got some of those guys that are, you know, they just need to click basically.
yeah,
I know they lost Robbie Ray due to Tommy John.
yeah. It takes a
Um,
little bit,
yeah,
They still got time to put it together. They have the pieces, like you said. They just have to put them together. All the
yeah,
pieces are
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I just have to put it together. I'm disappointed in him too. I'm a huge J Rod fan. I love him. I think he's exciting. He brings a lot to the sport. And Seattle, honestly, if my Braves fall out of it, that's who I'm going for. Because they haven't had one. They never won one. So I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them win one. I like J Rod. Uh, I like. I think that city's getting behind the Mariners. I think J Rod has breathed new life into them, and they're not that bad off. Like I said, I'd like to see them do something here, but they're gonna have to start playing better for sure.
Oh yeah.
Ultra disappointed in them.
So since we're going on the subject of teams that are
Hmm.
the most surprising and the most disappointing so far through the year, where do you think those? What do you think? What team is gonna sell? What team is gonna buy? And like the player, who's gonna go where and for
By the
who?
trade deadline.
Yes.
Okay, so it's hard to say. Um, okay, right now St. Louis is going to sell. They're going to get rid of Goldie, Goldsmith. I don't know who else they'll get rid of. They'll sell because I don't think they're coming back. I don't think you know, they're not in a position to be buyers, and I don't think they will get in a position being last to
I
become
think
buyers.
I think they can be buyers, and I think they can get back on to at least get a wild card. That's
So
my
to
take on the
be a
Cardinals.
buyer, you have to be in position to take that wild card. They got a lot of work to do. It's a long uphill battle. I don't think they'll get there.
But their only fixing is pitching.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I think they'll be sellers. I think the Cubs will sell. The White Sox will sell. Um, I don't know
Who do you think is gonna go where?
who would I like to see go where, or who do I think?
Who do you think?
Oh man, come on now. I'd like to see old Stroman come on to Atlanta.
That's not gonna
Sure
happen.
of that. Sure up that last spot in the rotation there. You never know.
That won't happen.
Why not?
Nah.
The Cubs don't want him.
You know where I can see him going?
Where?
The Angels.
Los Angeles? Anaheim?
Yep.
For what?
Joe Adele.
Do you think the Angels are gonna? They're right there. 6 games back. Nah, Angels ain't. No, nah. Angels are sellers. No way. No way they get through Texas and Houston. Mm-mm.
Well, they don't have to. They're just gonna make the wild card. That's all it takes.
They're not gonna do that.
You
Not in
don't
the
think?
AL. No, because you got the AL East right there with every team in the AL East is over 500. Yeah, they ain't making the wild card. If they don't win their division, they ain't getting in. But I mean, they are half a game out of the wild card. But I mean, you
Which
got
still,
Baltimore,
they're still
Houston,
right
and New
there.
York. I mean, they're right there, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
They're 6 game over 500.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wild card. Baltimore, Houston, New York are above them, then the Angels. So they're not far off, but there's a lot of baseball to still play. The Yankees are going to turn it around. Baltimore stays hot. If Houston overtakes Texas, and then they'll just swap in that wild card bracket, uh, it's a long shot, I think.
We'll see.
For the Angels to
We'll
have a good
see.
year, it's unfortunate because there's, you got AL East going crazy. You got Houston, who's up there. I don't know, man. Maybe. I mean, I would hope so. I'd love to see Trout. That's one of the world's greatest mysteries. How he has gone to Angels and pretty much just wasted a career away.
Will Trout
He
ever get
hasn't.
a World Series?
Will he?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, he'll never get one. Not with the Angels.
I think they got a shot because I think they, like I said, they just need some pitching.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
That's
see.
that's really all they need. Like I can see, depending how he comes back, I can see the Tigers trading. I can't think of his name now.
Oh, who are they trading to?
Their lefty, the pitcher
But
that just got
yeah, but
hurt.
who are they trading to?
I
Like,
can see him even going to the Angels.
so you think the Angels?
Either the Angels or the Cardinals.
Okay, let me backtrack. I agree with you. If the Angels stay right there at the deadline, they will be buyers.
Right.
However, what I'm telling you is what I think is that unless something catastrophic happens, they're going to have to either take the West or they don't get in, whether they buy or not. You can't blame them for trying. If they become buyers, they're trying to get in. Obviously, that's why they're buyers. But
Right.
if they don't win the West and jump Houston and Texas, they don't get in.
They're gonna try to show anything they can to prove Otani that they're gonna have a good winning team so he can sign back with them.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% that they're going to buy, especially if they stay where they are.
Yeah.
But they have to win the West to get in.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying. Was what I'm saying. Regardless if they buy or not, they have to double down, buy, and win the West.
And we'll see. We'll see.
Um, I like them. I'm not going for them, but it's unfortunate in the year that they do good. Texas shows up. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how the Angels are, man. That's the epitome of Trout's career. He shows up with a team. They're finally doing good, but the fucking Rangers are on fire. It's like why? It's timing. It's just weird.
Yep.
You know, why couldn't they done this last year, the year before, when the Rangers weren't so good, and all you had to deal with was Houston? Because years prior, the Angels are in the wild card right now, no doubt. I mean, with their record last year, you would have Houston winning the West, Angels in the AL wild card. But just so happened this year, you got Texas that shows up, and they're playing out of their mind, and Houston's still right there where they always are. That puts them third, and then you got the East, where you got Tampa going off, wins a lot of games. Baltimore wins a lot of games. New York wins a lot of games. I mean, every team in that division is still over 500.
Yeah.
Every team. I mean, we're talking the Yankees are third in the division. They got 41 wins. All right. That's more wins than anybody in the AL Central. The third place team in the East has more wins. Hell, Boston has more wins than any team in the Central. and Boston's dead last
That's crazy, isn't it?
in the East. Boston's got 39 wins. You go to the Central, Minnesota's got 38 wins. Number one in the Central. All right. So that's why I'm saying it's just a little weird for the Angels.
So for me, I also think that the Washingtons are going to be seller.
Yeah.
They're going to try to trade Josiah Gray,
Hmm.
get some prospect because they're not going anywhere, anyways. So
Yeah.
Josiah Gray or Lane Thomas. Where do I see them going? Like I said, I can see Josiah Gray going to one of those teams that needs some pitching help.
Hmm.
Which again, the Braves need some pitching help. The Cardinals need pitching help. The Yankees needs pitching help. So you got all these teams that he could be a good fit in.
Hmm.
Um, Lane
I'm with
Thomas.
that. I'm with
Lane
that.
Thomas. I think Lane Thomas is a pretty good hitter. I mean, he's their best hitter so far. Where I see him fit, I will probably say is the Marlins.
Okay. Can
That's
see
where I
that.
see. That's where I see him because the Marlins doesn't have a pitching problem per se.
No.
So their biggest hole is their hitting. So if they can make a move or two and get some of those players that are with a, you know, with a seller team, then yeah, because those are teams that are just right there from being good,
Hmm.
just right there. And I think the
Yeah.
Marlins are one of them.
Oh, the Marlins are good. It's just a problem
Yeah,
that they're coupled up.
yeah,
They're coupled up in the East with the Braves.
yeah.
I mean,
So
any other division, they might be first
yeah,
in the NL.
yep,
In that division, they're definitely number one in the wild card. I mean, they got better records than the Dodgers and whoever else was in the wild card.
yeah. So I can see
Um,
them going. I can see Orley Chapman
yeah,
getting traded to um what team do I see him fit? I will
Chapman.
yeah.
I mean, obviously someone who needs a good closer. Um, yeah, I don't know. Miami, maybe.
Orleans?
Yeah,
No. I would probably say more like probably say more like he might have a reunion with the Yankees. I heard him say something about him wanting to go back to the Reds, but the Reds don't really need him because they got Alexis Diaz. That is
yeah,
Edwin Diaz's brother, and the guy
right.
has. I mean, he's basically carrying the team in saves.
Yeah,
So they don't have a pitching bullpen problem. Where I
mm,
see him fit will probably be one of those teams that are struggling with the bullpen. One of them will be, if I'm not mistaken, is I believe the Philadelphia Phillies are struggling in their bullpen,
they are. Yeah,
so they could definitely use him.
yeah.
Um, some of the other teams,
How about the Rangers?
no, no,
You
I
don't
don't. I
think
don't think
so?
they have. No, I don't think they have any holes. I mean, yeah, they might get him just because. But personally, I don't think they have any. I don't think that they have any holes.
Yeah, I mean they got him ranked six overall in pitching stats, with 14 saves. I mean, who knows?
So
So
I can see them. So with the Kansas City Royals being a seller, I think the Giants are gonna be buyers
Yeah,
because, like I said, they're just right there.
I don't know, man. I'm looking up MLB.com talking about relievers in Texas. The reliever and saves back in the bullpen. Texas is ranked 23rd, 23rd in that
Okay, so
in the bullpen and all.
they might be buyers and go for a guy like Chapman
Yeah,
just to seal the deal for the trade deadline.
yeah. I mean, if you look at them, they've blown 10 saves already. They had
That's a
24
lot.
opportunities, and they've only 24 opportunities, and they've only saved 14 times. My God, could you imagine if they had a sure enough bullpen reliever that wouldn't have blown 10 saves? They'd be up there with the damn Rays and record wise. I mean, they'd be blowing everybody. Dude, the Rangers are scary, man. That's what I'm saying, man. That's like the Angels. I feel bad for them, but uh, they just picked the wrong year to be good because the Rangers are just, like I said, one piece, man, one piece, and they win. Say they take that down from 10, and someone like Chapman only blows, uh, say he only blows half that. What are they, 47 wins? So then you're talking about
Yeah,
52, 53 wins right there with the Rays. And, they're
so,
scorching past everybody.
they're just right there.
So,
I don't think so. Going back to the other teams, I think the Yankees might be a buyer.
mm,
Uh, because it's Yankees and they're just trying everything they can to win.
well, you got to when you're the Yankees. You're never a
Yeah.
seller.
So I'm just talking about
Your
teams
point.
that are potentially in the playoff that could be making moves, and
Mm,
those that are way at the bottom of the list.
yeah.
So the the Baltimore Orioles, I can see them. I can see them being a buyer, even though at the same time I don't see them making any moves.
Mm, maybe. Yeah, I see them buying. See, the thing with Baltimore is they have the pieces to deal. They have the most they have the most prospects. Top 100, they got 8 of them.
Yep.
And so that's who you're looking at is they may get someone really good out of the trade deadline because of what they have to offer. Some of these teams that don't have a good farm system, they're not going to get much,
No,
you know,
no, not at all.
because
So
that's the point. We're trying to shred a guy. If you're a seller, you're trying to get rid of a guy that only has a year or two left, or 3 or whatever, and you're trying to get the most out of him you can, usually in prospects.
yeah,
Baltimore has the prospects to deal. So they're going to have first pick at the big names at the deadline this year. And they should, because they get in on a wild card. They're not going to catch the Rays unless the Rays just go on a streak. So they're probably going to get in on a wild card, and they're going to have to be shirred up to beat Tampa.
oh yeah,
So I think they get. I think they get. I think Baltimore gets the biggest piece this year. The the deal breaker, or the blockbuster, if you will, of the
yep,
deadline.
yep, that's for sure. Shoot, who knows? They might. Even though I read an article that said that the GM for the Angels are not gonna trade Shohei Ohtani, but you never know. I mean, if you're the Orioles and you offer him three, three or four of the top prospects,
The problem with that, it'd be stupid for Baltimore because they don't have the money to back that Otani.
right? And that's kind of one of the downsides too. It's like you're trading for a big player, which he's good. Don't get me wrong, but the guy's basically being rented out because he's not
Yeah,
gonna sign back up with the team.
no,
I mean, the chances of happening are pretty low.
no. um, I think honestly, if we're being honest, I think Otani may stay in L.A.
I think I see that. Just
I mean,
ride it
they
out
got
with
Trout
Trout.
to stay. They
Yeah.
got Trout to stay, and and it may be a thing with Otani, and same with Trout. Maybe it's not so much about the team, but they're in L.A. It's Los Angeles, California. You know what I
I
mean?
guess it's where they feel more comfortable at.
Yeah, people like LA. That's where they want to be. They want to be in Cali with the warm weather, the beach, whatever, all the women. He may just stick it out in LA.
I can see that happening too.
So, but yeah, I'm with you. Baltimore's going to buy. Washington's going to sell. They should just gut whatever they have, start over.
Yep.
um,
Kansas
I don't.
City's. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely
Kansas City,
sellers.
Cleveland's going to sell. Detroit will sell.
I think the White Sox are gonna sell. They need to sell.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they need to sell too. Yeah, they're terrible. Where do you think Tim Anderson will go?
That's a good question. I don't know.
He's not really performing well,
No.
so he may not. You
Luis
know,
Robert might and Dylan Cease.
yeah. We'll watch Anderson, see what happens with him. He's kind of, I don't know, man. He was supposed to be the heart and soul of that team and get him going, and he kind of just ain't been right since he got back.
No, not at all.
So, all right.
So jumping on our last topic, what what players would you want to see hit in the home run derby?
Who
One
in
through eight.
it? One
Yes.
through eight.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have Acuna in there, obviously.
Okay.
Judge will be in there. What did he hit last year?
I don't remember.
No, he didn't hit last year. He didn't. He didn't play. He didn't hit. He didn't hit in it. Acuna will show up. J. Rod will show back up. I would like to see Judge. I don't think he'll come though, because he didn't come last year. Alonzo will be in it. Pete. Um, I'd like to see Goldsmith. Be honest with you, because I don't know how many more years he has. I'd like to just to see what he could get up there and do. Um, I'd like to see Rutschman. I'd like to see Rutschman in it. Um, and other than that, I really don't care. To be honest with you, that's the kind of the few that I'd like to see in it. I'd like to see Cedric Mullins, see what he could do. Maybe Ozzy Albies.
That's interesting. Ozzy Albies
I mean, dude, he's a stud. That dude hits fucking bombs.
does short with a lot of power.
Yeah, did you know? Fun fact: he swings the biggest bat on the team.
Really?
It's like a damn 34, 35-inch bat. It's the biggest and
Sheesh.
heaviest. Little
No
short
wonder he's
guy.
hitting
He
the
got it.
ball.
Yeah, I mean, dude is I mean, Ozzy's always been good. I think people kind of write him off, and he gets overshadowed because he's playing right there by Acuna. It's all that anybody ever wants to talk about when it comes to the Brave is Acuna. I mean, dude's no one else gets even talked about really. But when you look at Ozzy's power, man, I mean, he's already hit 17 home runs this year, and he was out with a broke thumb or whatever, wasn't he? For
Yeah.
a little while. Yeah, I mean, he's hitting 250, so he's kind of underperforming right now. He's usually a little bit higher than that. He's usually like excuse me. He's usually like a 260, 270, maybe 300 hitter. He's high 200s usually. He's career 270 guy, but he's hitting 267. Um, but I mean, when you look at his homers, 17 he had six, which was his debut. 2018, 24, 19, 24, 2026, 21, 30, 2022, he had only had eight. But I think he was out. He was out all last year too,
Yeah.
and he had 17 already. So I mean, he had 8 and 6. And just for comparison, 64 games, he had 8 home runs last year. He's played 74 games this year, hit 17. So he's got pretty good pop.
Oh yeah. That's without a
Who,
doubt.
who would you like to see?
So I like to see. Well, I know J Rod's gonna be on there. That's for sure. But personally, I like to see Fernando Tatis in there. I like to see Mike Trout, Jorge
Mm-hmm.
Soler, Mookie Betts, Adolis Garcia. I also like to see Jordan Alvarez. I like to see Rafael Devers, see what he can do. And I think for my last one, it'll be interesting if they did like a poll where they put like retired players and see and
Mm-hmm.
let the fans vote who they want to see put in, because I think they already kind of do something similar to that where they, like last year, they allow our pools to do it. But
Oh yeah.
if they do this thing where if they bring in, like, let's just say, I don't know, they put like three or four legends in there, right? Let's just say David Ortiz, King Griffey, Ichiro, and
Barry,
I don't know,
baby.
or and Alex Rodriguez, and let the fans pick who they want to see perform.
Oh, Big Poppy
And
all day. I mean, it's not even a question. No one likes A
so
Rod. Ichiro
so
only hits
so they
homers.
can get
Go ahead.
those players and participate and be like a legends kind of
Yeah,
thing,
that's a
like a
cool
legends
idea.
pick.
Never thought about that, but yeah, that's a really cool idea. I'd be down for that. I tell you, I'd pay the ones you gave me, Big Poppy, all
Yeah,
day, and no
that's for
doubt,
sure.
no doubt. No one likes A Rod. Ichiro only hits bombs and batting practice. Um,
Which kind of wanna, like, if he was on a vote like that, like that's what I would vote for, because of what you just said right there. He hits a lot of home runs in batting practice, which essentially that's what that is in a
yeah,
way.
people sleep on Ichiro, man. They forget about him. And some of my best baseball talk that I like is when you turn around and and you're trying to have that argument, that debate. Oh, who's the best outfielder? Oh, this guy, Tony Gwynn, Ichiro, da da da, Barry Bonds, whatever, whoever. Who's the best infielder? Blah 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 blah. Those are the best conversations that I feel like I have, is that little debate, because you may think someone's different, but always, almost every time, I have to ask that question. Someone will go off about, oh, no, 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 so and so is good, and I'll pipe in and say, well, what about Ichiro? Because they always forget about him,
Yeah.
and then they'll
Yeah.
go, he is up there. Yeah, he might be the best, one of the best. But they always forget. I don't know why.
He's a sleeper, man.
He, dude spent half his career over in Japan too. I mean, dude didn't get over
Yeah.
to like 28, 27.
Yep.
And he still hit
We
down. You
we
know,
talked about that last episode, which is
yeah. I mean,
crazy.
28, dude. He missed 7 prime years where he probably would have. There's no telling if he had been over here for those 7 years in the show. There's no telling where his numbers would have been. I mean, this
Yep.
dude was like 31. He finished up the season with like a 350 batting average or something. It's crazy. But
Heavy
dude, if he was,
sleeper.
yeah, if
He
he was
only
20, I mean,
he
his
he doesn't
defensive ability. Go ahead.
he nukes in the games, but batting practice.
Yeah, They said he used to crush it at batting practice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard that a lot too.
But his defensive ability, man, I mean, that dude had a cannon. Like he was a defender, just a guy they sleep on. But yeah, old Big Poppy, you know, one of the best of all time. That '04 Red Sox team, he brought a lot of magic to them.
Yeah.
um,
Mr.
that's pretty
Clutch
cool.
right there.
That Legends, yeah, that Legend things would be cool. I'd be down for something like that.
Yeah.
I wish they'd go back to the old format though. I don't get as excited about it when I used to do just a 10 outs.
And just
I
let it
like
be
that
over
one.
with.
Yeah, you hit till you get the 10 outs or whatever. I hate this new time thing they're doing where they give you what is it, a minute, minute and a half, or 2 minutes or whatever.
Yep. I think it's 2 minutes.
I ain't too big on that, you know. I like the old 10 outs. And you know, if you hit a golden one over or whatever, you get an extra out or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I like that format better. But you know, we'll see. Who knows? It's exciting. Where's the
Yeah.
All-Star game this year?
Where?
Yeah, where do you know?
Seattle.
Oh, it is in Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, J-Rod will definitely be in it.
Yeah, he is in it. Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We're about to wrap it up here. We had a lot of good topics that we covered today. And we appreciate everyone tuning in. If you got any questions, concerns, or maybe a little bit of criticism for us, just shoot us an email, grandslamshow@gmail.com, common spelling. Just shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. Good, bad, indifferent. You know, we're new at this, myself and Chris, and we're trying to zone it on in where we can, you know, put out some pretty good content for you. So that starts with you as the community letting us know if you like what we're doing, if you don't like it, or if you hit us up and say something that you may like. Anything that can inform us to make better decisions about the content that we create is always good. And we want to include y'all in the conversation, make you feel like you're part of the community and that you're kind of here with a conversation with us. You got anything to add on to that, Chris?
No, I agree 100% with what you said right there.
Cool. Yeah. So let us know. We won't get offended. We won't get upset. Me and Chris are pretty critical about once a week.
We're just trying to get better.
Yeah. We talk and try to make a plan to be better this coming week than we were last. So, but we'll get there. I honestly don't think what we're doing is bad. I think for being 4 episodes in, I think it's pretty good. I mean, you're not going to build Rome overnight. So, you know, these guys that are making millions and they got 1 million followers, they've been streaming for 10 years. You know, I mean, they've gotten really good at it and had plenty of practice. We're 4 episodes in and we're able to do an hour and a half live decently well. That's pretty good, you know. So anyways, just kind of wanted to hit that up. Be sure to follow us on our social medias platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can keep up with us. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next Friday.
All right. See ya.